Will they? Won't they? Is Doctor Who continuing? Is it not? Well, the BBC CEO came out and says, well, I'm going to go into what I think this is, and I'm going to tell you what I think is happening here, because I've got some insiders behind the scenes at Doctor Who, and I don't think it's as hunky-dory happy as they're presenting it to be. So please hit the like and subscribe button. We talk about all things Doctor Who and science fiction, guys. I'm a science fiction writer myself, and I have a new series. I've got a beautiful time travel story coming out in my Valiant Frontiers, which is going to be out later this year. And Valiant Frontiers is a space exploration series first, but when Doctor Who was going off the rails, I wanted to have one of the books feature time travel, because I'm like, you know what, I'm going to try to do this right in a way that, like, you know, they can't do. And since it is a space and time, timey-wimey kind of thing, it fits the themes pretty well. And so I took the idea here for one of my books. I'll just spoil a little concept of it. And I was like, well, what if a time traveler just went off the rails and went crazy? Which seems to be what Ncuti Gatwa did in this recent deal, right? And like, how would that impact somebody who's trying to stop that and to save the universe by stopping that? And that's the main plot of one of my Valiant Frontiers books coming up. Now, that's going to be on a crowdfund very, very soon. I'm going to finish the book before writing it before I launch the crowdfund. So I want you on my newsletter, and my newsletter is where you stay in touch with me. And that way I can always find you. I never know with YouTube what's going to happen on that front. You might never see another video again after this one. It's just they don't show people, even if you subscribe, which is a bummer. So this is the spot to be, the newsletter. And of course, if I move off platform, which I'm increasingly doing, you see I do a lot of stuff on Substack here. You'll be the first to know as well. So you get 3 free books for doing so: a sci-fi book, a fantasy book, and a full superhero graphic novel, a $50 value just as a gift from me. And I just gave out a new short story to people who were on it last week. So that actually covers one of the characters from Valiant Frontiers. So I do a lot for the newsletter, and I appreciate everybody who's on here. Sign up in the description below. If you want to check out my books, they are on Amazon and also on my web store. So thanks for being here on that front too and reading. You guys are the best. All right, so the fate of Doctor Who has been in question lately as Disney ended its partnership after Russell T Davies and Ncuti Gatwa's dismal run. But the BBC boss is assuring everyone that the government-funded organization, that's right, the BBC is a government-funded organization promoting this crazy Doctor Who nonsense, remains committed to science fiction brand and holds the same values as Disney. Now, that's really an interesting statement right there. So if you weren't around for the whole Doctor Who the last couple of years, it's been centering around identity politics ever since Russell T Davies took back over the reins of the show like he had in 2005. From his 60th anniversary specials, he brought back David Tennant to try to revitalize interest because they turned the Doctor into a woman before that. And he littered those specials with awful dialogue reflecting the worst in social justice. The Doctor was lectured on being a male-presenting Time Lord. And, of course, we had the weird situation where this, like, wheelchair-bound woman was shooting missiles and, like, saving the Doctor. It was so cringy. They also kept referring to a new character called Rose, and if you don't know why that's insulting, Rose was the love interest of the Doctor in the 2005 series, and this one is a transgender black dude. You can't make this stuff up. And they kept calling this Rose beautiful woman, such a beautiful woman, over and over and over again, which is, the cardinal rule of storytelling is show, don't tell, right? And so when you're telling somebody something over in it just insults their intelligence, especially when it's very obviously a dude who's towering over everybody else, including the Doctor. So it got worse over the series. They took the character, made him gay and black, of course, and the episodes were filled with emasculation of the character. He's crying, he's whining while the companions solve all the problems. This was not the Doctor of the past. And, of course, the most extreme part was when he abandoned his companion, Ruby Sunday, and then went and instead of actually saving the day or whatever, just went and made out with some random dude. Yes, it happened. It got crazy. Now they cast a bunch of transgender people. It went nuts over the whole course of this thing. Season 2 was worse. Russell T Davies decided to make the theme about it lashing out against channels like this one and fans of the show toxic fans and the like. They even had an episode where like they announced it was Planet of the Incels, and actually put the hashtag RIP Doctor Who into the show to try to go at fans. It was very bizarre. And of course, people tuned out as that happened. Now, at the end of it, they did another desperate ploy because they brought David Tennant back. Well, let's bring back Billie Piper, and they actually have her regenerate as the Doctor at the end of the show. Now, this was tacked on at the end. This was not thought of in advance. They had no plan for this. They just did it as a last-ditch desperate marketing effort because they wanted to get the brand out there, hoping people would rubberneck and tune in so they could go to Disney and say, look, people are tuning in now because we did this crazy reveal. And it didn't work. Shocker. So Russell T Davies kept saying throughout the season that he's written the next season all the way through. Of course, with Gatwa out, he wrote it for Gatwa, not for Billie Piper, and so he'd have to rewrite that anyway at this point. He kept saying it wasn't canceled yet, and the ratings were the lowest of all time. It was dismal. Everybody knew it was done. Rumors were that Gatwa was out for the last 2 years even. And they were sweeping for it. They were lying to their audiences about what was going on with this show this entire way. And so that's what I think is going on here now. So we just had a interview with Ncuti Gatwa earlier this week on a show where they asked him if he would come back and play the Doctor, and he said, never say never. But you could tell the body language about it and he said he quit being the Doctor because his knees hurt. And and he says he's getting old. He's 32, so it's retarded. Total lies, total sweeping for this stuff. It was clearly the low ratings, the fan backlash. I heard from the set that Gatwa hated the fact that he was so reviled and he thought it was bad for his career and just wanted out. It had nothing to do with any of that stuff. And so that's what's actually going on. And again, they're just going out and doing these lies in the media constantly. So the BBC boss went out and did much the same thing. And a lot of what's happening in the media is posturing because they want Disney to come in and come back and give them more money because Disney said basically no at this point. Now, there's been a lot of speculation that Doctor Who's on hold, and it is. I mean, right now, they don't have a plan. They don't know what's going on. Even if they really get things going, they're not going to be a Christmas special this year. If they get things going, they can start writing and building in 2026. That means you're having a 2027 at earliest date at this point, and the further it gets, the more it ventures into 2028 or 2029. I mean, so it's really on hold at this point, even though they're saying otherwise. And so the CEO says, we're really committed to Doctor Who. We really want to carry on looking at ways for fans to interact with the brand. And this is again a cope process where they're abandoning what's going on. And we've seen this with Dungeons and Dragons. That the Hasbro does not care about the game Dungeons and Dragons. They just laid off a bunch of people, shut a bunch of stuff down. The designers of this new edition all quit after they turned everything woke. And they're just not even paying attention. Same with the comic books, right? For Marvel and DC Comics, all these woke people are writing these crazy things. Nobody's reading the comic books. They're just holding these brands for movies and for licensing deals and things like that. And this is kind of mask off right here. What he's saying, we're committed to Doctor Who. We want to carry on looking at ways for fans to interact with the brand. And so it's okay, are you going to have a mobile game or something like that for a Candy Crush Saga Doctor Who edition? Is that what you mean? Yeah, and that is what he means. So they're trying to make money and extract things because the BBC actually does pretty well on Doctor Who licensed products and toys and things like that, believe it or not. And so that's where their money is, and they know that's where the money is on this. And so that's what they're trying to get fans to interact with. They really don't care about the show as proper as much as that. And that's the problem when you have these consumer brand properties like this every single time. We look after the brand, whether it's at Comic-Con merchandising, see he mentions it here, or whether it's the distribution deal we've done, right? The BBC and Disney haven't made a decision yet. So he's talking about the Disney deal, of course, to produce Doctor Who. Disney is out at this juncture, and the BBC is begging them to come back in. This is what's actually happening. And so this whole Billie Piper stunt was trying to get Disney's interest back. The thing Disney wanted this entire time was actually rights to stream the old Doctor Who, whether it's the 2005 version or even the classic version, because they wanted that on their Disney Plus, and that's what Disney doesn't have from the BBC right now. So the BBC, I don't know what their licensing deals are right now, but those are on different channels at the moment. And so I believe the 2005 version's on HBO Max, and the other version, the classic, I think it's on a thing called BritBox or something like that. I don't know what their deals are on that, but obviously way more people would watch it if it's on Disney. So they would probably want that, and Disney really wants that because that's a moneymaker right there, because everybody will stream the classic episodes for sure. That's what happens with Star Trek and Paramount, is those classic episodes really pay for Star Trek. And so when they do, they'll announce it. There's no point in me speculating on it, but Doctor Who is much loved brand by everyone in BBC Studios. We love being a part of that sort. So yes, he doesn't have any plan. The BBC does not have Disney in their pocket. He wants them back, and this is press to be like, oh, we love you, Disney, and this is how you kind of know that, and trying to woo Disney through his press contracts. So he goes further with his mask off. He says, they are a crucial partner. We share a lot of the same values. And this is pretty interesting, as you know, this was the wokest, craziest Doctor Who ever. Obviously, Disney was all in on pushing that agenda at the time, but they didn't. I really think these companies didn't realize how much they were turning off fans and losing viewerships and doing these things. They really thought the culture's with us. The more we make them black and gay and disabled and point all the victim classes, the more we're going to win. I mean, I really think they thought this in their boards, because they're all in echo chambers in Hollywood and at the BBC. They don't talk to normal people. They don't understand that normal people hate this and don't want to watch this. And they thought that normal people could be pressured into watching it because of fear of missing out. Because, you know, what happens is people talk about a show like Superman, right? Right now, everybody's talking about Superman, and you have a fear of missing out because everybody's talking about it. And so then you go see Superman because of that, even though it's kind of a weak movie, right? That's what they think they can generate here. But, you know, Doctor Who was so off the rails, they couldn't do it. And so that's it. I'm really proud of the way that relationship worked. I'm sure you were. And that's a bad sign, because if they really are still all in on these same values and on these same things, you're not going to have a real Doctor Who again, even if they bring it back. And so that's where things are at right now. And I think this is more courting Disney and trying to get them back rather than it is them actually thinking they have a plan or anything like that. But regardless, it's on hold for now, even though they say it's not. It is. Doctor Who is, for all intents and purposes, canceled for at least the next year. We'll see what happens after that. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button, guys. Please sign up for my newsletter in the description below. Get in on my science fiction storytelling that I talked about earlier in the video. I can't wait to bring this trilogy to you. It's going to be beautiful. You get 3 free books just for connecting with me, my friends. It's a great deal. Sign up today, and also go to Amazon, check out my web store, my books, and, of course, Real Science Fiction. We got to bring it back over here, because this isn't about brands or merchandising. This is about real science fiction storytelling, which is what Doctor Who should be. All right, see you soon.